We've just got off the boat from the Sea of Galilee after celebrating Mass. This particular boat ride was something I was a little bit worried about, with sometimes getting seasick, but we were really blessed today with a very calm day, and it was even more special to be able to celebrate our second Mass outside, as yesterday we were reflecting that you don't have to celebrate Mass just in a church, it's wherever Jesus is and he's always with us. So it was a beautiful morning this morning.
Today we're at the Sea of Galilee, and Father really calmed the storm and walk of water, but we were lucky enough to celebrate Mass with everyone. Father Bishop really related to everyone when he told the story of what Jesus did in his ministry around the sea. And he made a great point of mentioning when he went up to the mountains to pray and sent the disciples on the water, there was such a bad storm. But he talked about how the two challenges that the disciples faced were the wind and the waves. The winds being those constant challenges that we face and hindrances to our lives, and the waves being those unexpected challenges that we face as Christians. And he said, as Jesus came and calmed the storm, he said, do not be afraid. And in our life, when we come across such challenges, in my life, I always know that I can rely on God, as He is always with us on our journeys.
Hello everyone, Bishop Michael speaking to you from the Holy Land. We're in Capernaum today, which here the locals refer to it as the Capernaum. So in Capernaum, the town of Jesus, they call it, because this is the town where, as we read in the Gospels, Jesus did so many things. He gave so many of his teachings here in and around this village here on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, which is just to my left down here. He undertook many healings here. It's where Simon Peter lived. So Jesus grew up in Nazareth, but he spent a lot of time here in Capernaum. So it's been wonderful looking around this city now, which is now ruins, but we can see the various places where Jesus did things. And just before coming here, we were actually out on the Sea of Galilee on a boat celebrating Mass on a boat out in the middle of the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus calmed the storm and called Peter to come to him across the water. And Peter had a moment of doubt of faith, but Jesus pulled him up. And so it was just wonderful having Mass there where all of these things have been happening. It's been a blessed few days so far into our pilgrimage. I've just told you a couple of things that we did today. Every day we're seeing wonderful things, visiting fantastic places and hearing the stories in the actual places of what Jesus did, and having the opportunity to reflect about that and pray about that and talk about it with each other has just been marvellous. And having an absolutely wonderful time with all the young pilgrims from Maitland-Newcastle. We really are having a ball. You would not believe how hot it is here. We are roasting, but we are in very high spirits and all just enjoying the experience together. And that's been a great thing about this pilgrimage too. Pilgrimage is a journey that we don't only take alone with Jesus Christ, but that we take together with Jesus Christ. And I'm really getting a strong sense of that sense of community of us as a group of disciples following Jesus Christ, just where his initial disciples followed him around this incredible land. It's a reminder to us too that our whole life of that pilgrimage as journeying disciples following Jesus Christ is one that we don't only do individually, but we do it together as a community, as the church. So we are thinking and praying for all of you back home, and we know that you are thinking of and praying for us too, and we really are feeling those prayers, because this is really a grace-filled few days that we're having. So as I say, I wish you were here to be enjoying it with us, and we look forward to coming home and reconnecting with you all as well, and sharing more personally some of our experiences on this marvellous pilgrimage in the Holy Land of Jesus. God bless you all.
We've woken up this morning and come straight up to Mount Tabor here, where in the stories, of course, Jesus underwent transfiguration. We've got this beautiful church behind us, which we're about a week away from the festival, where the sun hits those beautiful glass windows up there and lights up which is a reference to the Transfiguration. So it's just gorgeous mountaintop here overlooking the food bowl, essentially, of much of this region. So it's a really lovely sight, and we're very excited for the day.
Today we were lucky enough to visit the Mountain of Transfiguration, which is Mount Tabor, and this is where Jesus revealed his divinity. And we talk a lot about seeing Jesus' humanity and divinity, and I guess this is where Jesus revealed himself to Peter, James and John. And then Moses and Elijah both appeared, and they were built tents, which basically this was where Elijah's church was built in honor of the tent that was made. And I think this is of significance for me because Christ was revealing himself, saying, I am the Son of God. And yesterday we were talking about how we think God has revealed himself to us. And I think coming here, I thought I would find God more in the physical, such as nature or the sacred sites we are visiting. However, when I was praying with Susanna, one of the pilgrims, I found out that God is really revealing himself through the people we have met and also different pilgrims. Yesterday we were doing praise and worship with some pilgrims and really had a special Holy Spirit moment. So I guess it's good visiting this today because we see where God actually revealed that Jesus was his son.
We've just arrived in Nazareth, and we're here at this historical reconstruction town. If you imagine old Sydney town, what it used to be and what its purpose was, essentially this is the same for 1st century BC Nazareth, of what we could feel and what we can see from the stories in the Bible. So we've got live animals, we've got actors in uniform, and yeah, it's a great little experience to get a sense of the time.
Right now we are walking through Nazareth, and I think I'm in utter awe. And I guess usually we refer to awe as one of the charisms to do with nature, but I guess I'm in such awe of the place, as Jesus lived about 500 meters northwest of where I'm standing right now, and that is just amazing. He lived in these exact same streets that we are walking amongst, and right now I'm actually standing on one of the vineyards which was near his house, where they used to crush the grapes with their feet, and that actually makes the wine taste better. So it's a shame we don't do that these days.
Hey guys, I'm Josh. We're here at the Basilica of the Annunciation, and man, what a blessing it is to be in a church. We get to meditate and contemplate Mary's yes, and which is really the most powerful yes that's ever been uttered throughout history. And really in this time, it's a really good time to take a moment to reflect on how we can say yes to God every day of our life, constantly turning towards him and finding new ways to say yes and finding different ways to perform his will in our lives. Another important thing to notice that verse about how the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And it's this idea that God is with us and he's present, especially in every tabernacle of every church in the world, and he's present on that altar when we celebrate Mass. And I'm really looking forward to going in there and about to celebrate Mass and be able to be present with that Word.
So we're at the Church of the Annunciation today, and this church is absolutely amazing. I am just gobsmacked by how decorative and beautiful it is, and I think that my personal opinion is this particular church that we're here at is probably the most adorned that we've seen. Bishop Kennedy said before that it's one of our big three because it's where Mary went with haste, which is actually our World Youth Day kind of slogan, that's why we're here, and it's just been so beautiful to understand the devotion that we have to Mary.
Today we were lucky enough to celebrate Mass in Magdala, where Mary once lived. And I think this is very important because the theme for our World Youth Day is Mary arose and went with haste. And I think as Catholics we place great importance on Mary because she was the one who ultimately brought Jesus Christ to us. And I remember when I went to a youth evangelization camp, we were praying the rosary, and one of my friends said, if you keep the rosary wrapped around your hand, it's like Mary's holding your hand. So I think she's just such a figure of great love and comfort for all of us. So it was a very special place to visit today.
So we've just renewed our baptismal promises here in the Jordan River. It's crazy that just over there is Jordan, but we're still in Israel. But it's also absolutely wild that we're here in the same area that Jesus got baptized by St. John the Baptist. So how amazing that we were able to renew our own baptismal promises here in the very water. So we've just arrived in the old city of Jerusalem. It's absolutely beautiful here. The architecture is stunning. Today we're here at St Anne's Church and thinking about what the significance is for this religious site. We've just been told by our beautiful tour guide Habib that this particular site is where Mary was born, but actually also where Jesus would come to celebrate the Jewish festivals as a small boy. So there's lots of significance all throughout his life and all throughout Mary's life, and it's interesting to see those kind of like intertwining and making sense throughout the Gospels and things like that.
Hey guys, Josh here. We just got done in the cynical room of the Last Supper, where we got to see the spot where Christ instituted the Eucharist, which we are still consuming today in every Mass. And it was a great time to reflect on the sacrament of the Eucharist, and it was really a powerful moment. Yeah, we got to explore the history of the site and of it going its different phases as a church and as a mosque. And now it's a dispute, and we just pray that one day it may be resolved peacefully. And yeah, it's just a really special experience.
We're here today, day one in Lisbon. We got in about 2 a.m. this morning, but we've had a good sleep. We're on our way to the metro station of Rato to head to the Australian gathering, which apparently is going to go off. So how exciting are we all?